Welcome to Kung Fu Havoc number 2. This is a two-parter, and this will more than likely be an intro because I have to vote tomorrow and I have school, so this will just be an intro. Alright, probably be like a 5-minute intro, so maybe it'll be a three-parter. So here we go. As a martial artist, there are a lot of things that are discussed and a lot of things that are washed under the floor or whitewashed over top of. There are things that people in the martial arts community do discuss, and there are things that people in the martial arts community don't discuss because either they're like really not willing to face facts, or they really don't want to lay down the truth. No. And so if you're a martial artist, then you probably know this better than anybody. And what I'm gonna say will probably piss you off, but it is 100% legit. In a fight, people are always saying that size doesn't matter. And then you have those people that are always saying size does matter. Well, that's kind of the same argument that I'm going to make with, is it better to be stronger or is it better to be tougher? So I'm going to give it to you from my point of view and my point of view only. So you can take that with a grain of salt, go and brush your shoulders off, and give me the finger. Or you can receive some real knowledge from a person who's actually been in a few fights. Not professionally, but real fights. See, here's the difference between a real fight and a professional fight. They're both fights. Real fights don't count. Professional fights do. Alright? Let me explain that before anybody starts hooplaying in the bottom. Alright? When you're in a real fight, the situation is you're jumped on the streets, or you're walking down and somebody ran up on you and just tried to mug you, and you whooped their ass. Those are real fights. Those are street fights. Now, don't get it twisted. A professional fight is still a real fight. It's just there's a few things that you must know about professional fights. One, there are rules. Two, there's three fingers here. But two, they are in a controlled environment. And in a controlled environment and with rules, you have a certain amount of policy that must be followed. Everything in the world deals with politics. This is a reason why politics is everywhere. See, in a professional fight, you have weight class, which counts just the weight. It doesn't include height or reach. Height and reach are a factor in a fight, in a professional fight. Which in that case, size does matter. Because you can be the same size, but someone may have a longer reach. Now, it happens because some of us, it really depends on what your body type is, because there's like different types of bodies. I forgot the excessive name, but exercise physiologist that I used to have a crush on named Tammy Lee Webb pointed out the body types, and I forgot what they were called. So just go with that and go Google her and whatever the hell the bodies are called. But some people are the same size and have longer arms. Some people are the same size and have longer legs. This reflects on what she said about the body types. So here's where size does matter. Size matters in a professional fight because if you weigh 135 pounds and you're 5'11", you're a lightweight champion. Or that's only in wrestling. You're a light champion in like UFC environments. It didn't used to be that way. Now they actually have a lower class, like a light championship now. They didn't have it fucking 20 years ago when I was eligible for fighting. It was always get your weight up. Get your weight up. But when you can't metaphysically gain weight, it's almost impossible to have a career. Now it's probably more possible because now bodies are being recognized. You know, little guys are being recognized. So now we're getting a shot. I'm 46. They're never going to give me a shot. And I've been practically crippled due to my stint in the Army. Now, here's where size doesn't matter. When you're outside in the streets and the fight breaks off, your size isn't going to amount to a hill of beans unless the guy you're fighting is an overzealous, cocky, dumb bastard. Everyone I've ever fought in my life has been bigger than me. None of them have whooped my ass. Understand that. The fight about size is bullshit. Fight size only counts in a controlled environment. It really does. It only counts where you are in an arena, or you're in a ring, or in a cage. Because if you look at all those wrestlers, you look, Rey Mysterio's like a $175. He's like 5'6", 5'7". and he's beating the crap out of everybody. Now we know that wrestling, the moves are real, and everything else goes with how the story rolls. But we also know that the moves are real, and people outside of the wrestling community has been injured by people practicing moves that they have not been trained to do. People have lost their lives to that. That's a video all to itself. Now, in a street fight, 195% of the times, the big guy goes in thinking that the little guy is going to be a fucking pushover. The big guy looks at the little guy and says, "Oh, you're 100 and nothing, you're 5 foot nothing." The big guy must realize that no one is taller than the last man standing. Because when you're on your back, we're all the same size. So that's the thing about being in that commission of size mattering. Now, if you go by size of weight, alright, I'm 125 pounds, you're 170. You got a little bit more BMI to move around, which I don't. Also, a smaller body is easier to maneuver and get the fuck out the way versus a larger body. Now, this is not for everyone, because everyone is different. The second that you underestimate your opponent, it's Shitsville. No. Anybody can be anybody on any given day if they are prepared fighters. If you're not a prepared fighter, if you're not a prepared fighter for the street or the ring, it's 9 times out of 10 you're going to get your ass kicked. If you don't think you're going to get your ass kicked, 9 times out of 10 you very well may get your ass kicked, because nobody is invincible. And you can hold your own, because that's what I tell everybody. It's like, yeah, I just hold my own. No. I don't go around telling people I'm Bruce Lee. I don't go around telling everybody I'm the baddest motherfucker on the planet. I let them decide for themselves when we actually have conflict. When we have conflict, I have one mission, and that mission is to survive. So when we start swinging, I have every intention on hitting you with bad intentions, which means I'm not hitting you in the face. Understand that. This is only going to piss you off. But if I catch you in that throat, if I catch you in that sternum, a man who can't breathe, it don't matter how good a fighter you are. If you can't breathe, you can't hurt me. I would hope that I don't kill you when I strike you into those spots, but for those who just don't want to believe certain martial artists are legit, I can tell you this. There's always going to be a war of words and skill when it comes to martial artists and fighting. It's always going to be a war of words. It's always going to be a war of whose skill is better, whose style is better, who's factually right, and who's just there popping smoke out their ass. Alright? And here's the thing about that. In a real fight that does not involve controlled environment, that does not involve rules, it's winner take all. It's really that simple. There's no ifs, ands, and buts about it. It's winner takes all. And in that, you have a situation gone green. Either you're going to win by losing, or you're going to win by winning. Let me explain that win by losing before everybody's like, how do you win by losing? Well, if you're fighting someone with honor and they knock your ass out and they don't kick you while you're down, you've won. You didn't win the fight, but you've won because you're not severely damaged, which happens a lot with people who fight on the streets, because most people who fight on the streets don't have honor. If I've beaten you and you're down, stay down. If I beat you and you're down and you've lost and you clearly can't take anymore, don't let pride get you back on your goddamn feet, because that could wind up sending you straight to the hospital or the morgue. You don't know what's going to happen at the end of a fight until the fight ends. Now, for those who are unhonorable and have beaten you and decide to run up over you and let's put a little icing on the cake, if we would, kick a person while they're down, you have no honor. And if you do that to me, I will hunt you down and I will break your legs. Because I couldn't do it the first time doesn't mean I can't do it the second time. Understand that every fight is different. Every fight. No matter what the situation is, every fight is different. If you fought somebody once before, there's a good chance you could beat them again. It's a good chance you might not. Now, this is why they have, in those professional fights, rematches. Because it brings in the money. Alright? Ken Shamrock and them can tell you how many times they've had some rematches with people who have beaten them and who they have beaten. That's the difference between a controlled environment versus a street fight. In a street fight, there are no rules. There's only one: survival at all costs. If you are not willing to survive, or my favorite quote from Vanishing Sun and Russell Wong, who I am a freaking idol of, or he, actually one of my idols, rather. He who hesitates meditates from the horizontal position. No. And the thing with that is, that's like 1,000% true. If you're not a good fighter, then you probably want to get that first lick in and try to knock that son bitch out on your first hit. And if you don't, pray. So there will be 2 more parts of this video. They won't be made tonight. However, after I get out from voting and after I get out of class, I will probably try to do that. So if you're watching this on a Tuesday, it means the other 2 videos either are posted or aren't posted. If you're watching this on a Wednesday, then it's most likely that all 3 videos probably got posted because I had the time to actually make them. I also will be wearing different attire. I don't know what that will be, but I will be wearing different attire. So thanks for watching. This is Kung Fu Havoc number 2. Be seeing you. It's like a little after midnight, so I'm going to bed now. If I can stop the damn video.